This is the iSteady M7. It's the first gimbal I've tried from Hohem. Normally I'm shooting with my camera, but there's a few interesting features I was curious to test and see how it works in real life. You see, this isn't just a compact, travel-friendly phone gimbal that's gonna give you smooth, buttery footage from your phone, whether it's an Apple, an Android phone, or even large screen devices with this wide clamp. It's this little fella here, and it happens to be an AI tracker. Pretty awesome. And I've spent the last couple of weeks with it, taking out on some of my nearby trips and exploring some of the different shooting modes in the Hohem Joy app that it connects to. And overall, it's just been such a very exciting and fluid experience that has actually refreshed and renewed my interest shooting with my Nothing phone too. It's not a killer type of phone and the camera isn't that great on it, to be honest, but the Hohem iSteady M7 really does make it a lot more enjoyable to shoot with and still unlocks some really cool features if I don't plan on taking my camera for some of those trips. The AI tracker has been improved for this year's M7 that makes it a lot more reliable, even in some testing conditions. I can control it with gestures. I can put my palm out and it's going to stop tracking me. And when I want it to pick up my face, give it the OK. Recompose where you are on the frame. So if you want to be more towards the left and then let it capture a bit more of your surrounding to the side of you, you can reframe. This gimbal is a 360-degree pivot. So with AI tracking, if you are walking 360 degrees, it's going to track you the entire time, and I love that for the dynamics that you can introduce in some of your shots. It's super exciting and a whole lot of fun if you haven't tried AI tracking, like me being the first time, and it just makes things a lot easier if you shoot on your own, if you're travel vlogging, if you're trying to capture some behind the scenes, or you just need a reliable shooting companion and don't have to move your cameras all the time. It's also got stronger motors over the previous generation that's going to hold a higher payload up to 0.5 kilogram. If you are kitting this out with additional accessories or you're just rocking heavier phones, it's going to keep things nice and stable. It charges via the included USB-C cable, and you can also charge to a power bank if you plan to shoot for extended periods of time or you're away from the mains outlets. The AI tracker, there's two little buttons on the side and you can take it off. I pretty much have this on most of the time within the AI tracking, the RGB and fill light. So I can press this button and it's going to turn it on. I can also use this nice jog wheel on the side that either changes the color tone, so you can see it's more yellow going to a neutral white. I can also press it once and it can change the brightness. I can put it down to 1% all the way to 100%. And that's great if you are in darker scenes and you just want to illuminate yourself if you're shooting a little bit in the night.
The time of my life. Baby, don't feel no pressure. You make everything easy, everything except leaving on. I'll never make you my enemy. Can't get enough of your energy.
One of two features that I think makes the M7 a super impressive phone gimbal for this year. The second one being the detachable remote control with a display. You now have your remote control that allows you to see how you are framed in there and also take advantage of those rear cameras, which are just going to improve the quality. I can swipe through and tap all the options very easily. It's nice and intuitive and mimics a lot of the features you get in the Hohem Joy app. So if you aren't using the app or you're not behind the camera, you can just pretty much replicate anything you want on the control. But you do have the joystick if you need finer tuning precision for composing. The trigger in the back is useful for some gimbal actions that you might want to activate on the fly. Press it twice, then it will recenter or realign the gimbal back into this neutral position. Pressing it 3 times, the gimbal will spin 180 and you can switch between the front and the back camera, or if you want to switch from POV to selfie style shooting. And if you press the trigger 4 times, it will switch between ultra wide and normal mode shooting, and that will just have the gimbal motor out of the way, so when you are shooting wider, then you're not going to see parts of the M7 in your shot. So you can set A and B if you do any kind of panoramic time lapse using the M button on the remote control, switching between pan focus, pan tilt focus, POV, lock or unlock, tilt, roll, pan in the custom mode. Quickly do it on the remote control if you prefer. Everything labeled so you don't have to remember what button actions which. You can just select wide angle and it will move the gimbal. M7 is also really easy to balance. You just have to unlock all 3 areas of the gimbal. The only adjustments you really have to do is towards this back side. I do advise taking off the AI tracker if you don't need to use the tracking features. 360 warp or inception style type of shoot. Even in flashlight mode, it's just going to place less strain on the motors, which means it's going to use less of your battery. The M7 is also incredibly well built and also pretty lightweight too. It's got a nice rubberized grip with a premium finish, and it also just feels very durable and robust. It doesn't feel fragile at all. It also makes it a lot more enjoyable to use. Another bonus why I enjoy taking the M7 with me is the extended height built into the gimbal. It gives you about 30 centimeters plus of additional height, and that makes it a lot more comfortable when I want to take some self-portraits in a non-selfie style. The extra height does give you a little bit more reach, so when I do want a bit more of the background and environment showing, or I don't want my face too close, and the fact how you can adjust it, so you can have it slightly off, you can have it a little bit taller, or all the way at the maximum. It feels super sturdy in all adjustable levels of the telescopic rod, so everything just feels very well built, durable and long lasting. The motors I haven't had any issue with either. If it has a recurring sound, it means one of the axes is still locked, so those are nice reminders. Now the included tripod is very nice. It's a high quality plastic with some rubberized grip similar to the M7 handle, and it's got a 1/4 inch mount so you can thread and twist it on the bottom. For two-handed use in flashlight mode or inception, where I just need a little bit more stability when I'm shooting it like this, but also makes it a bit more comfortable if I do need to use 2 hands. It gets a little bit cramped on just the one, so having that makes it easier. And many times I find myself having to place it on the ground, rummage through my bag, very comfortable to place anywhere, and it keeps the gimbal in top condition. You probably get an additional 50 centimeters height total away from your body, which is plenty enough for vlogging style modes, but also when you have it propped up, gives you a little bit more height away from the ground and also nice stability. So if you are doing any AI tracking shots and the motors are working, even in slightly breezy conditions, I never felt like this was going to fall off. Feel very tight, very strong. There's no loose parts, there's no rattling, there's no low quality aspects to it. A lot of these features make the M7 very worthwhile for me to bring into my bag when I probably wouldn't otherwise, and that's definitely a testament to how Hohem have built such a solid package. So the iSteady M7 is just absolutely brilliant. It's very hard to fault it because as an overall package, it does everything very well. Hardware-wise, it feels nice, got a premium finish, rubberized grip, and it comes with the tripod and the extendable rod that just gives you so much high-end functionality. It extends beyond being a simple gimbal, but even if you are looking for some of those steady, very smooth, buttery shots with your phone, this does achieve that. In terms of battery life, I haven't kept a hard number on it, but I was shooting for probably about 6 hours outdoors and it still had some battery left over. It does charge the remote control and the gimbal at the same time. I would say for most people's all-day use, it definitely gets the job done. And even when it was like -5 to -10 degrees outside in the snow, in colder conditions, battery life did take a bit of a hit, but I would still get about 3 hours. Having it placed like this, probably can get 8 to 10 hours. Additionally, you can connect it to the Hohem Joy app, and that will just pretty much unlock all the modes that you can find on the gimbal already. But if you want to have access to zooming in, zooming out, or manual focusing, those extra pro modes, or even like time lapse, it is a lot easier to navigate and set up on there for those modes like time lapse. So there are some advantages to it, and you do get a bit more granular control as a camera app. Some of the things I would like to see improved in the M7, when I'm not using the AI tracker, sometimes I take it off for flashlight or inception mode because it just adds extra weight on the motors. It would be nice if there was some magnetic slot or attachment on the handle, maybe even on the back or the side, to kind of dock it in place. Being able to customize and map certain modes, options, or features to different parts of the jog wheel, the buttons, that would just act as presets or shortcuts. I also found the AI selection window a little bit difficult. You can press the button and you get a little red window and you can kind of select other objects that you want it to, the AI tracker to pick up, or if you need to kind of reframe. I find the side button's just a little bit difficult to use. It would be nice if that was actually a lot bigger. Set additional tiles where I'm swiping through the options. Being able to set quick shortcuts on the remote control would be useful to have too. The slider button here is just a little bit on the smaller side. I don't have big hands, but it's already quite tough to use, but I'm absolutely pulling at straws. So if you are someone who's been waiting for that all-in-one phone gimbal that gives you stable footage, very reliable tracking features, and easy to use and access for some interesting and fun capturing modes, I think the iSteady M7 is Hohem's best phone gimbal yet. Thanks a lot for joining me, Team KBA. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.